Well, the day has finally arrived. Let's put an engine in this thing. So, we're going to get this thing put in. Before I start that though, there are a couple of little things I need to do. First of all, we've had a couple of days of it's just been windy. There's just stuff blowing all over the place, so I just want to have a bit of a tidy up out here. A couple of things left to do on the van, but they shouldn't take long. One, I want to double check the clutch cable, make sure it's nicely greased up. Also, the linkage that runs down the length of the van, I do want to pump some grease down the length of it. Again, just make sure everything's moving freely. On the engine side of things, distributor's just stuck in for now. I do want to put that in correctly and time it up. I am gonna go to an electronic one. I'm gonna try it again. Just not yet. Let's just get the engine in, just make sure that everything's working on the van. Electronic one's easy to install, so I can do that at a later date. Also, the exhaust on this side is leaking for some reason. When I had it fired up, obviously I was using two-stroke, two-cycle fuel oil mix to start it for the first time, so it was very smoky and I could see there was a leak on this side, so I've got that to address before I put the engine in. It's easier with it out, so I think the first thing I'm going to do is let's just move this out and we'll have a look at that exhaust to begin with. Something else I wanted to do as well, I can't remember what it was. Oh, I know what it is. I need to go and find the gear selector, the gear stick. I know where it is though. I definitely know where it is. So, yeah, let's get this moved out first and we'll do that. A couple of other things I still need to do as well. Down here, still need to put a clamp on that rubber seal just there. And last but not least, where's it at? There it is. Transmission oil. I need to fill the transmission up as well, so there's still a few things to do this morning, but it is nice and early. We are getting a nice early start. Life is happening in the street there, so obviously I'm not going to be waking anybody up. Also, I'm not going to be making a lot of noise right now anyway, so, but yeah, let's go get that gear selector. I think I might just put that in first, and then we'll do everything on the van first, and we'll come and concentrate on this. Okay. Hell yeah. That's it. So we are pumping fuel through, and she's actually idling quite good there, to be honest. I was surprised. This is that, oh, I've forgotten the brand now, but it's this funky carb that seems to be a clone of the Solex, but hey, she's firing up, she's idling, so I'm going to clamp down the distributor where she's at right now. I am going to let it cool off a bit because I have had actually running. I stopped the camera and just let it run for like a good 10 minutes there. But yeah, Yeah, so we know the fuel pump is actually working. We know she will idle. So, yeah, I'm going to let it cool down and then, yeah, I'm going to get in and installing her. So, I've just prized out the old gear linkage there. Obviously I cut it there to get it off, but yeah, there's just absolutely nothing of this thing left, so I don't know how anybody found a gear in this van. But yeah, only thing left to do now is the actual shaft that runs down the van for the gear linkage. That is very, very stiff, and I'm going to have a quick look at the manual, see how you remove it, and if it's easy to remove, I'm going to pop it out and clean it up and grease it. Either way, it's going to get greased. It needs some lubrication on it just to make the gear shifts a little bit easier. Okay, so it would appear that this has to be done before the transmission goes in. So the shaft separates there. This coupling can then be slid back, and then this front shaft will come straight out. At which point this rear shaft can all slide out rearwards. So it does have to have the transmission now, so I need to do this before I get the engine and box in. But it looks pretty straightforward there. Okay, so this was actually pretty straightforward. So there's a square nut, square-headed bolt in there. Basically wind that all the way out. This goes on the end of there. There is actually that's basically where it goes into there. You can tap that collar along, which separates it, and then basically just work this out to the rear. Yeah, so this just works its way out backwards, comes out, pops back up, pops out under the bumper. So yeah, I'm going to give this a quick wire wheel down. Same with this. We'll get it greased and it can all go back in. So we've cleaned these up, but I do have a couple of questions. One, is that meant to be bent there? And two, is that meant to be bent there? Because in the manual, it's not. And worst case scenario, this one should be easy. Because if I had to, what I could do is take a measurement of the length of this and cut the pipe and just add a new straight piece in. This one now, this is a solid bar, and I would need some heat on that to actually straighten it. Yeah. I think it's time to do a little bit of investigation. It's lunchtime anyway, so I'm going to go and grab some lunch while the paint's drying. Yes, I know, I painted them. I paint everything. It's just who I am. I just like things to look like they've been cared for. You know, like somebody's made some effort with them. But obviously I haven't done the centre section because that'll actually be lathered up in grease. But yeah, that is a question. Let's go do a little bit of digging. Okay, so it's not perfect, but that's as far as I'm going to take because this rod isn't solid, so it is starting to crush a little bit. But I've got a lot straighter there now. So I think just grease this up and then it can go back in. But I think what's probably happened is when at some point when the transmission has been removed, it's been left hanging on this. And it's just pulled it and bent it. So yeah, anyway, let's get this slid in and then we will see if I can deal with that front section, see what we can do with that. Okay, after a bit more digging, it does appear that from 74 on, this front section of the gear linkage is cranked. So I thought it had just been bent, but apparently that's how it is from the factory. Anyway, let's get this put on. Okay, there's a gear selector in with, that's actually one of those little quick shift kits. What a pain in the ass to get that back in. But it's in, so we can now move on. I am going to get this, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this front end on the ground, just to lower it down, and then I'm going to raise the back up a little bit more. She's got to come up quite a way, so what I'm going to use are these ramps. Now, I do have a plan. I'm not sure if it's a good plan, but it's a plan. What I'm basically going to do is slide the ramp under as far as I can get. Put the scaffolding bar through the ramps. Put a ratchet strap on the front cross member, a ratchet strap on the actual bar, and then I've got a pull all, one of those ratcheting winch things, and I'm going to winch it up onto the ramps. Yeah, I know. So this is probably the beginning of a bad idea. I do have the front of the van down on the ground now, but the rear is still up in the air. However, it's not high enough to slide the engine under. And so here is my thought. I will put a scaffolding pole across between the two ramps. I will then put a pull all, one of those hand ratchets, between the scaffolding pole and the front axle. I'll use ratchet straps to actually strap it to both. And then, as I ratchet that back, it should move the van back and up onto the ramp. Now, just to be clear, worst thing that could happen is the van slips and rolls forward. And admittedly, I will have to be under there, but I will be in a position where if the van rolls, I'll be between the ramps, so it won't roll on top of me. Oh God, I wish I could get it. I wished I had access to some of the really large jacks at the shop, because there's a one over there in particular. It would just lift the entire rear of the van up, but I don't have it. So the other option is, actually no, that wouldn't work, would it? I was going to say I could take the cowling off, but I'd literally have to strip the top end of the engine down, and it's not going to give me that much extra. One other possibility is as well is that when I get this outside, I may actually take it off the cart that it's sitting on. What am I pointing the camera to? I might be able to take it off the cart it's sitting on, and I've got some lumps of plywood there. Maybe I can get it sat on one of the pieces of plywood and slide it under. That's a definite possibility. That we'll see. I'm going to go in and have some lunch anyway. At this point, I'm sit and debate my life choices. Well, we're getting close, and I've actually substituted one sketchy idea for another one. I've looked everywhere and cannot find my pull-along hand ratchet. Messaged my buddy Andy. He says, "Oh, you've got it over here at the shop." So I don't want to wait a day for him to drop it off for me or me to run over there, because it's over an hour there, it's over an hour back, and that's going to be the end of the day. So jack, pieces of wood, blocks, and I'm just jacking each side, jack up a little bit, block it, jack up the other side, block it, go back there, jack it up a bit more, block it, and it's got it raised up pretty well there. So I've just got this one here just to take up a little bit further, and then that's it. She's up there. I want to have a good scoot around before I start rolling the engine out. Well, obviously I've got to put the rest of the tins on the engine to begin with, those big wide ones. I've never actually test fitted those, so I'm not sure how they go on, but yeah, she's getting there. She's getting there. I have actually got the front end all chocked up though. There's the triangular wedge in there, and that's a very heavy block, just to make sure she's not going to roll forward. I've got the wheels blocked there just to make sure again she's not going to roll forward. This will be lifted up, and then this ramp will be slid right under. And on this side, I've already got this one slid right under. The wheel is actually sitting up against that block there, so it's all locked in, she can't move anywhere. Same on that side, triangular shaped block, piece of concrete, and yeah, slowly but surely. Okay, that's it, this side's done now. I will put another 4 blocks on that side as well, just to, to keep it as safe as possible. But yeah, I'm channeling the transit here. Those of you that remember back in the day when I was doing the transit, it spent a lot of time up in the air like this, although I had all 4 corners up. But anyway, we're there. I'm going to just make sure the other side's nicely shored up, get these big blocks out. That's what I was talking about earlier in the video. I did these actually to hold the tent down, but because that block goes all the way down through to the bottom of that bucket, and that's all concrete, and it is heavy. Extraordinarily heavy, but they're great for standing the vehicle on. So, but oh, one little thing, I've had a couple of people mention what this is on the paint. It's dirt. It's just a really dirty area. Got a lot of dust in the air, and at the moment there's been a lot of planting and everything going on there because it's obviously farming season, and just the sheer volume of just fine dust, and then we get a little shower of rain and everything's just covered. So yeah, it's, the paintwork hasn't gone all funky or anything. It's just dirt in the atmosphere. Anyway, let's get these blocks over on that side, and I'll pull the engine out and start figuring things out on there. Well, ready to roll this back out again. Yeah, fingers crossed. Hopefully this will be the last time this engine's in this garage. Yeah, because obviously the van won't fit. Door's too low. It actually probably would have went in if it didn't have the camper top on, but it certainly won't go in like this. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, ready to roll the engine back out. Had a couple of little spits of rain, but I think we'll be able to deal with that. So I normally have a few of these kicking about. They're just off the small 1 litre bottles, but they're handy because they do fit the larger cans. It works great if you've got the transmission out. Not so well if the transmission's in place. The other thing that I like, but they're very hard to find here in the UK, are the little squishy bottles. It's basically just like a pack of oil, and you can just squish the pack up and squeeze the oil into the transmission. They work great. But I see them a lot in the US, but here they're a bit of a rarity. Shame, because they do make this job a lot easier. However, transmission is sitting outside the van, and I can just basically get in with a straw and a big bottle. So, yeah. So it's a slow process, but it does work. I do have the engine and transmission sitting basically level, and the idea is you just fill it up until it starts running out of the drain port there, which will be about 3/4 of this gallon. Holds about 4 quarts, give or take. Not sure what it is in litres, but yeah, about 3/4 of a gallon. There we go, just filled it up until it actually starts to run out, and then we can just put the plug back in, and that's it, call it good. Obviously this is all going to be pressure washed again once the engine's in. So, a couple of things left to do. I've got one clipped to put on the inlet manifold, on the intake manifold. It was one of the couplers I did not have the band for. I don't know why the one that one of the couplers was thicker than the other, basically. So I needed a band that was slightly longer, but I've got that now. So I'm going to put that on now. And that's everything taken care of the engine. Obviously, I'm going to take all this electrical gubbins off that I put on just for getting the engine running and everything. So that's all going to come off now. And yeah, we'll spin it round. I think what I am going to do first, though, is before I actually start putting the engine in, a couple of gallons of gas there, I'm going to stick that in and see what happens, and just make sure there's no leaks from on the inlet pipes or anything like that, just to be sure. I didn't want to put it in too soon because I didn't want it sitting in the van for like for months, because modern fuels are just not that tolerant anymore. They just because there is ethanol starting to appear in fuel here in the UK as well. So yeah, but let's get the rest of this all buttoned up, and then we'll figure out these tins. Okay, so I'm just trying to figure this out. I'm assuming that goes on kind of there. There we are. Kind of like that. But yeah, I've got bolt holes here, but these ones don't line up. Those ones down there have got a gap. I need to have a quick look. I know I had another bottom tin. This is the new one I put on. They came with a van. I didn't purchase it. It did come with a van. So I am not entirely sure. Obviously, those I assume are just for the conduit to go through. But yeah, I'm gonna have to play around with this. I'm gonna go and grab that other lower tin, which is going to be a pain if I do have to change it, because it means this front pulley's, this rear pulley's got to come off again. Yeah, it's a rear pulley because this is the back of the engine, not the front. Yeah, we'll figure it. We'll figure it out. Okay, here we go. Here's the other lower tin, and it is different. Bugger. Yeah, it is. That side appears to be the same, but this side over here is different. So. Yeah, what to do? There we go, that's better. Did not notice that. Okay, we're back. So, got everything on now, all the tins. What I did down there was, rather than messing about taking all this off again just to change it over, I just made a plate. It fits in there. It does exactly the same thing. It stops air. So I'm going to put these pieces of conduit on now, and we'll spin it round and start getting it lined up under the van. Yeah, exciting times. Very exciting times. Okay, this side went on pretty straightforward. That side's been a bit difficult because the exhaust pipe was so close to the actual hole where it goes through. I'm not entirely sure why, because the pipes were actually, this actual outlet here is further over that way than this one. So it's in there. So I had to squish the pipe a little bit, squeeze it on, and then kind of shape it back out again, but it's there. Right, so I've got the seal that goes around. I'm not entirely sure whether to put that on first, or whether you can get that on once the engine's actually in place. I'm going to have to have a bit play around with that, but I'm going to stick it on to begin with. Yeah, and then, yeah. But let's get this spun around first. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to take this off here so I don't lose them. It's just the adapter for the brake booster. That pipe was just put on there mainly just to seal the pipe up so that it wasn't drawing air in when I was trying the engine the other day. But yeah, okay. We clear. Excellent. So I just got to get this straightened up because I'm a bit cattywampus, but once we do that, yeah. So basically what I intend doing is I've got a number of ratchet straps. I'm going to hook one up to the rear, lift it a little bit. I'll put one on this side, one on that side, lift the front a little bit, lift the rear a little bit, lift the front, and just kind of just work it up into the engine compartment. I haven't put the seal on. I've got it strung out in the garage there because it's where it was wound tight, it's really compressed, so I will figure that out. I'm not entirely sure whether that'll go on at the towards the end or what, but yeah, I'll figure it. What I'm thinking is there might actually be enough space, and the seal itself is really squishy, so I might possibly be able to just push it into place. But we'll burn that bridge when we get there. Okay, I've had it rolled in and out a couple of times. I've had to readjust the wiring harness because when I put that in, it was some of it was guesswork. But I've got that in the correct location now. I have loosened off the rubber mount on the back of the transmission, off front of the transmission, mainly because the spout of the transmission has to go up and over the cross member. So I've loosened that off. So what will happen is I'll have to go with a slight angle, then in, then bring the front up, bring the rear up. Yeah, one of these days I will be able to visualize this engine correctly. It's decades of working on front engine vehicles, so yeah, my brain keeps saying this is the front of the engine, but it's not, it's the rear. The clutch and flywheels at the front. So yeah, I've had her slid in and out, and I think I've got everything lined up to where she needs to go. I do have to have a quick look for the nut for the, it's like a wing nut for the clutch cable. I have seen it. It's in one of my boxes in the shed, so I'm going to go grab that now. But I think I'm going to call it for tonight. It's getting on for about 6:15, 6:30, something like that. And I've been out here since about 6:45 this morning, so this has been a very long day and I'm just exhausted. Yeah, I am very happy on how this has come along today. We've hit a lot of milestones. This van, 20 years, it's actually over 20 years at this point, since it was last on the road. And we're getting close. We're getting very, very close. Brake calipers are now here. I'm not sure if I actually mentioned that, but brake calipers have arrived, so I can get the brake system finished off. Engine's going in, and yeah, it's looking good. It's looking real good. Anyway, let me go look for this wing nut and yeah, just call it for tonight.